up, beautiful people? It's your favorite light, M Boogie in this thing. Welcome to another episode of the Can't Be Broken podcast, where we are shining light on the darkness that is domestic violence and abuse. Listen, 1, welcome to the show. 2, we got 3 simple goals: to educate, empower, and encourage. We are here to educate anyone who's never been in an abusive relationship, doesn't understand the complexities of abusive relationships, don't know why people stay and why people go back. We gonna find out. We are here to empower all of our survivors to stand up and share your story without shame, fear, guilt, or judgment, because you are strong, you are powerful, and your voice deserves to be heard. And to anyone who is currently suffering in silence right now, listen, you are not alone. You are not crazy. Abuse is not normal. Your feelings are valid. And despite how it may look and feel in this very moment, there is always a way out. We encourage you to seek support. Now, y'all know we got to go ahead and hop up in this thing, because we about to rise above these insecurities, release the burdens of shame and guilt, and revive our God-given power, purpose, and passion the confidence way. So we about to light it up. Y'all, welcome to another episode. Today we have this amazing, beautiful, energetic, lovely, all things gorgeous light on the show. Miss Liz, welcome. Pew, 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 pew. Confetti, 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 confetti. Liz, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I'm good.
Good, feeling good, doing good, all the goods. That's what
All
we're
the
here for.
goods.
That's what we are here for. I'm super excited. Number one, thank you for taking your time to have this conversation with me. Thank you for being transparent and courageous enough to share your story so that we can help other people either understand or navigate through their own situation or navigate on the other side. The purpose of this show is to show people, we go through some things in life. We make decisions, we go through some things, but the beauty is there is joy on the other side. We just got to take a moment and convince ourselves and believe ourselves that we can make it do what it do, because we're going to make it do what it do.
Amen.
We're going to make it do what it do. All right, so we're going to hop on in this thing. We just dive in. Okay, don't judge me. Judge me all you want to. Here we go. I'm going to get focused, though. I'm going to do right, Liz. I'm going to do right. I promise you. Y'all know how I be. Don't judge me. The first question is, so we know that you're in an abusive relationship. Had you ever experienced or witnessed any type of abuse in your household or at school or in your neighborhood growing up?
No, actually. No. My childhood I'm an only child raised by a single mother. I had a dad in and out kind of thing. And growing up, I think there was some type of, stuff going on, but my mom kind of sheltered me from all that. So witnessing it, no. But it was something. Yeah. It was
So
a little fishy. Yeah.
you suspect that there was some kind of animosity or hostility or aggression between your parents? Or
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you feel like you felt that in the moment, like as a kid, or as you're grown now and you're reflecting back on the situation, you like something had to be going on?
I think it's more reflecting back now that I'm grown. I had 2 Army parents. So one was infantry, and that was my dad. So he was always overseas. And then my mom, she was a medic. So she was mostly home with me as I got older. So I saw her more than anything. But the dynamic when, we talked on the phone or with the letters, or even when he came home, it was not like how like you hear your friends talking about their parents and all that kind of stuff. I didn't get that. So now that I'm older, I do feel there was something going on. And of course, once I graduated high school, they're not together anymore. So that just, kind of puts a little bit more into it.
Okay. Now, had you ever, are your parents still around? And had you ever had a conversation with either of them about their relationship or what happened?
I have not. So my dad is not around anymore. I actually moved to Rock Hill. I'm from Florida. I actually moved to Rock Hill to be closer to my mom, but I don't ask her a lot of questions. I don't tell her. We speak, but we're not close, if that makes sense. Like when it comes down to the personal stuff, we just don't talk about it. We don't.
Do you feel like there was something that happened in your life that kind of severed that bond, or that bond was never there? Like, why would
I think the bond really was never there.
Mhm.
When it came down to like personal stuff, serious stuff, even when it comes down to like my first boyfriend in school or anything like that, you don't talk to mom about that, like at all, because she will either kind of shut you down or very judgmental kind of thing. Instead of being like a shoulder to cry on, she was more of a you should type. So I just don't talk to her. Even when I was going through my abuse, my first abusive relationship, I've been in two. My first abusive relationship, she didn't find out about it until the end. Like it was, I kind of kept that to myself because it was, I knew she wasn't going to be that shoulder to cry on or somebody to actually kind of try and help. It would be more like judgmental, you know, kind of thing. So I keep that part of me separate from her. My dad, on the other hand, when I was a kid, because once I turned 18, they separated and I kind of lost touch with him. He was the one I always used to talk to, and he was the one that I always used to go to. So we had that when I was a kid, but I don't have that anymore. So in a way, I'm kind of like to myself.
have you ever tried to reach out to your dad?
I have. I found him on Facebook twice and like sent him like little messages, and I have got no response. So,
Oh my gosh.
but that's it. Like I just let things be. I'm kind of, you know, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Okay. So let's talk about, before we even get into the first abusive relationship, I just want to sit for a second with something that you said that might have been missed. You said, even regardless of the fact that you and your mom don't have that close knit where you can tell and confide in her with about things, you said that she didn't find out about the abuse until later because you didn't want to go to her because you felt like that space wasn't safe for you. And there are a lot of times people want to question, like, why don't you tell somebody? Why don't you let people know? And people don't let people know. One of the reasons is because I know that if I say anything, instead of you actually trying to actively help me, comfort me, and show me a loving way to get out of the situation, you're going to judge me and make me feel worse than I already feel.
Right.
Like, people aren't in abusive relationships feeling happy, joy. They feel depressed. Their anxiety is embarrassment, is shame, is guilt, is a lot of self, like just being negative towards yourself, and kind of like abusing yourself mentally for even being in that situation or staying in that situation but not getting out of it. And then you want to go to somebody who's supposed to love you, and they ain't gonna do nothing but pile more ish on top of the ish.
Yeah. So that's exactly what it was. Like I just didn't want more of that. I just my mom kind of raised me to be very independent. Like you can, if I fall down, nope, get up. Like you got this. You can get up. You got this by yourself. Like that's how she raised me. So I just figured, you know what? It's gonna take me some time, but I got this. I'm gonna get out of it. I've always had that state of mind. So
Okay.
yeah.
So how old were you when you got into your first abusive relationship?
I was 19,
Right out of high school.
right out of high school. Yeah.
Right out of relationship with your dad.
Mm-hmm. I jumped right into it. So
Was that your first? That wasn't your first boyfriend though. That was just
that was, he wasn't, I don't even know how to explain it. So he was my first actual relationship. Like he wasn't my first, like, now that I'm older, what they call them, situationships. He wasn't my first situationship. The first one I can't even count now that I know what a relationship is. But this was the first one that I actually, we were serious and it was monogamous and all that. So
so tell me about it. Like, what was it like when y'all met and him, I guess, courting you, or what was that whole situation? Was it he was charming? Was it he was just felt amazing to be around? Or did you kind of see some things in the beginning that was kind of questionable?
actually saw some things in the beginning that was questionable, but he made sure I knew like I was his queen. And he made sure like the whole world knew it. It didn't matter. Like you walk beside me or in front of me, you never walk behind me. He opened doors and he showed me stuff that I actually never seen before, except for like in movies. He was a bad boy, and that's what I should have kind of caught on. Like he had been in and out of prison like almost his whole life. But I just never knew that you could be with a bad boy and then he treats you so well. So I definitely had like that princess treatment with him, and I loved every bit of it. For somebody to actually listen and actually want to be with me. I never thought I was like the prettiest or anything like that. So he showed me all that. So that's how I fell for him. Um and the person that I was with before, that I was, kind of dealing with before, he showed me that too, but he wasn't faithful. Like it was a bunch of us kind of thing. I think in reality, I was just longing for like one person to love me and only me. And that's what he showed me. So I fell for it like instantly. It was an instant kind of thing. We were saying I love you within like a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Had you ever asked him about any of his, I mean, he in and out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
I did have other relationships though. Had you ever asked him about any of his other relationships while y'all were kind of getting to know each other in that time?
I asked him about one. Actually, I didn't ask him. He brought her up. I don't even think he brought her up. I think one of his family members brought him up. His family was really my red flags. Like, if I would have listened to his sisters, his mom, like, if I would have listened to them, I would have been out of there like first quarter.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We riding over this speed bump. Tell us, sis. Okay, so bump the in and out of jail part. Talk to me about his sisters and his mom. Break that down on the dynamic of what they were doing or saying that made you be like, girl, why you still here?
So he had like this wishy-washy relationship with them. Like you could tell he loved them, and they loved him, but they kept him at a distance. But when we do, like they used to argue, then they used to, be cool with each other and then argue. Me, I'm an only child, so I'm like, okay, this is brother and sister. I guess this is, what it's like having a whole bunch of sisters and stuff. Cool, whatever. Um, one of his sisters told me to be careful with him. And I was like, why? And he was like, and she was pretty much like, because he's a good person, but he's not a good person. And she was like, just be careful because you'll get hurt. Like she told me, and here I am, I'm like, whatever. She just, saying that. She don't, she I really was like, oh, they must just be jealous or they don't like. I had like this mind. Like I don't even know this. It was this young, naive, very gullible mind. And his mom told me that he was a demon. And that sticks to me to this day. Like she was like, that's my demon seed, is what she said. And I was like, it hit me, but then I was like, no, he's not like that.
Because you weren't experiencing that.
I wasn't experiencing that. So as things progressed, I started seeing and I was like, whoa, okay, maybe. But it became a point in time where it was too late. So, and then I went through this whole I can change him. Like, oh, that's what he was to you. So he's not like that with me. So
oh my, okay, wait, before you go, I wanted to know, because so many times in so many conversations that we've had on this show, there have been women who have been with the guys who is abusive, and either their family or their friends knew about it, but ain't nobody saying nothing. Like nobody is giving you warning signs. Nobody is saying be careful. Nobody's saying get out. It's like they know how this person acts and they accept it. And they just let you go, pig to the slaughter. But you
had the
actually had the warning.
I had the warnings and I ignored all of them.
let's be clear too, because like you said, you were young, you were naive, 19. People we be thinking when we 19, we grown because we out of high school and stuff, but we're still babies. And of course, this is not a judging show. It's just, I need us to see and feel all the things that transpire in these different relationships so people can understand that people aren't stupid. We make stupid decisions, but you're stupid. And so the fact that you had you're naive, you're gullible. And when you're in a situation where someone is actually treating you, especially for the first time, making you feel like a queen, making you feel like you're beautiful, making you feel like you're their priority, showing you all of these things that you've never experienced before, it's really hard to believe when you haven't seen the demon side of them that person is possibly a demon. Even if it's coming from the mouth of their mom, it can be. I just wanted to sit here with this because there's somebody out there who's being warned by friends or family in this very moment. And because you haven't seen the side that they're telling you about yet, you think that it's not that way anymore, or you can change them. Can't nobody change nobody but God and the person that chooses to be changed.
Amen.
And I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. Everybody deserves a second chance, but you ain't got to be the one to give it to them. I'm just saying. And so I wanted to sit there for a second because this is the first time that I can recall this year that someone has said the people who knew about the evil side of the person has actually spoke out about it, even before it appeared or revealed itself to you. That's bananas.
Yeah.
It's important too that we as women and men be very mindful when we're entertaining someone that we do pay attention to the relationship that they have with their family and their friends. Because in my situation, the relationship was really, it wasn't like yours, but he was he was uninterested in his family unless there was something that his family could do for him. They didn't have, like, he wasn't interested in going to family reunions, gatherings, and things like that. And so that to me now is a sign. Like I want somebody who's a family person because I'm a family person. You know, family's important. And in all honesty, family should be important to everybody unless their family has done them wrong. Then I can get that. But there was no signs that his family had done them wrong. It was just his decision to stay away or not waste his time with them, basically, unless they could do something for him. So when you're in these situations and you're entertaining the idea of being with someone, be mindful of their relationship. Like, ask them about the relationship with their family. And then see if you can get around their family. Because a lot of times their family, there's an energy and there's a spirit about their family too that you can feel even if they're not saying something. But girl, somebody out there needed to hear that. Yeah. Because somebody is telling you right now that this is not who you think it is. Please listen, especially if they've known this longer than you.
Please listen. Yeah.
Okay, I'm off. Turn my mic off. I'm gonna be quiet. All right, so they warned you about it. This is like, how long had y'all been in this relationship before he started revealing pieces of him that were demonic or evil to you specifically?
So I got pregnant 3 months in.
Child. God dang it. Okay.
I got pregnant 3 months in, and I think I was about 3 months, maybe 4 months pregnant. And we had came from one of his family gatherings, and I don't know what, I honestly to this day can't tell you what made him mad, but he was also drinking. And I ended up in the hospital, and he ended up in jail that night. And his mom watched it happen. She watched it.
Okay, let's just sit here and unpack this for a minute. So prior to this incident, his mom and is his dad not around?
His dad was around too, but his dad, him and his dad were probably the closest, to be honest. Okay. So he didn't tell me
nothing,
anything. Yeah,
and he knew. So is his dad and his mom still together?
No.
Okay, 2 separate lives, 2 separate households. So It's not until after you're pregnant that the abuse starts happening.
Mm-hmm. I'm already pregnant.
And I learned that just doing some research and reading that the likelihood of abuse to occur or to become even more dangerous increases after the woman becomes pregnant.
Yep, absolutely.
I had to sit there because somebody out there ain't pregnant yet. Get out.
Yes.
Like, don't do it. You're not there yet. You still got a better chance. Okay, so we're at a family gathering.
Mm-hmm. It's like a little cookout. We was at a little cookout, and I don't know what it was. He was drinking. I wanted to go home. And so his mom took me home. Okay. And it was a little ways, like 20, 30 minutes, from their house to my house. And I just remember he's on the phone, like just yelling at me, yelling at me, yelling at me. And what is going on? I don't know whether you're mad, blah, blah, blah. And his mom is just sitting there, just driving the car. So he pulls up like I'm getting dropped off at the house. I get out the car. He's pulling up behind me. I'm literally yelling for his, I don't know how explicit we can get, like trigger warning or whatever, but I'm literally yelling for his mom, like, help me, help me. And she's like, nope, I don't get involved in y'all's issues. And she drove off. I had a best friend that was staying with us I can't even say staying with us. We were roommates at the time. And she called the police, and he was so like on 10 that they tased him like 3 times, and he just kept getting right back up. Like he was on it, like the Hulk.
Okay, so he wanted to stay.
I didn't tell him he couldn't leave. I wanted to leave.
It
was me that wanted to leave.
And as soon as you leave, he in the car right behind you.
Yeah.
So she drops you off. She done said, I done said my piece. I told you about my boy. I
Pretty
told
much
this child. Nothing else.
And she left me hanging. Like she left me there.
So
and this was out.
Witness him physically abusing you, or did he just? So what happened? He gets out the car. She's still there.
Yeah, and he like yanks me out the car.
Wait. You're still sitting in the car?
Like I was getting out of the car. You know how like you 1 foot in, 1 foot out, about to get out? Well, I had like dreads at the time. So he just yanks me out the car, and I end up on the ground, and he's just kicking me, hitting me, hitting. We're outside. I'm in an apartment complex. So this dude did not care who was watching at all. He didn't care.
Y'all 6 months into a relationship.
We're about 6 months in. Yep, because I was about 3 months pregnant. Yep. And he knew I was pregnant, obviously. Yep. It was...
So your friend or your roommate at the time hears you yelling.
Mm-hmm. She comes outside, and then next thing I know, the police are there. I didn't know who called the police at the time, but she told me she called the police.
And his mom just saw him drag you out the car, hands and feet on you, and she drove off.
Yeah. I said, help me. I remember that very clearly. Like, I was like, Ma, help me, help me. And she was like, I'm not getting into it. And she drove off. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say at this point.
And I stayed.
I don't know what to say because she gave you the warning. She's like, the boy is a demon. Like, what was she thinking? At the very least, call the police. I can get if you because if somebody's on that level of rage, ain't nobody pulling them off of nobody. I get that. Mama, like, I ain't trying to get hurt. And I don't know, you ain't my child. I don't know what she's thinking. But to flat out say, I don't get involved, she's had to have seen this happen before.
I figured that, like, I don't know for a fact, but she had to seen that happen before. I don't know. She just didn't care. I don't know. I still to this day don't know, but I remember that scene so vividly.
So your friend calls the police. The police
Mm-hmm.
up. When the police show up, he's still on you.
Yeah. Like he didn't even care. Lights everywhere. There's Jacksonville police. They come about 10 deep. He didn't care. There, get on the ground, tasing him, all kind of stuff. He's still not getting down. Like, I don't know if it was alcohol. I don't know what it was, but he did not care. He did not care at all.
So he goes to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Does he stay in jail?
30 days.
He's in jail for 30 days.
Yep.
You got 30 days to get your mind right.
Mm-hmm.
With you and your roommate and your pregnant self.
And my roommate was pregnant too.
Are y'all communicating while he's in jail, or was it complete no contact?
So we were communicating. That's, I don't know what it was. Like I had this feeling like I didn't want my child to grow up without their dad. So
Say it for the people in the back.
I did not want to be a baby mama. Like that was my thing. Like I am not nobody's baby mama. I mean, the next day he called me, he's crying, like, baby, I'm sorry. I want to be there. How's the baby? Like he's so concerned. So for the whole 30 days, he was like this completely different, transformed, I love you so much. You're my queen, kind of person while he's in jail. So I fell for it. So when he got out, guess what? I'm at the jail, ready for him. I'm there.
Let's sit in it. Let's sit in it because
I'm
Jesus.
laughing, but it's not funny. But it's
because okay, this is what I love about this podcast. This stuff is so serious that we're talking about, but I love that we're able to have this conversation openly, transparently, and because where we are on our healing journey, we're able to laugh at the buffoonery that we and the stupid decisions that we made. So I it's just you talking, you speaking my story.
Oh,
I like the police didn't get called on him, but I need to sit here for a second because people are like, why would you stay or go back to somebody who just did anything to you physically? Why would you stay? That was one of my reasons too. That was one of my reasons. I was like, I don't want to be a single mom. I want my child to grow up in a 2-parent household. Whoever's listening to this, listen to me clearly. Whether you're in an abusive relationship or you just have a child with someone who's just an unhealthy, toxic person, period. Maybe they're not abusing you, but they just ain't good. Trying to keep a relationship for the sake of this child with someone who's toxic and unhealthy is damaging the child. Like it's counterproductive to the reason you're staying with this person. It doesn't, like, the child is, we don't think about it in the moment. Like, I don't think my child is going to pick up his habits. Why would I not think that? When that's what he's going to be living around and growing up around, and that's the example that he's going to see, especially if it's a boy child watching their father, you're just perpetuating the cycle.
Yeah.
And so that was one of my things. Like, I want my baby to have both his parents in his life. I want my baby to grow up with an example. I don't want homeboy not to be able to be around his kid, like all this stupid stuff. And you just completely push back everything that you just experienced, like it's not gonna happen again. Like, oh, well, that was just a one-time thing, or no, it's not gonna. And then they do the love bombing, the tears. I got tears too. And because it's such an uncommon thing to see a man cry, I think that when you see somebody cry like that, and after they've done something, you really do truly think that they're remorseful. Like, you really do truly think that it's hurting them.
Yeah.
But the thing that's hurting them is not the fact that they hurt you, it's the fact that they're going to lose something. They don't care about the person they hurt. They care about how losing you is going to affect their life. So I needed to sit there because somebody went through it. Somebody's sitting there right now, and you got the opportunity. Homeboy in jail, homegirl in jail. This is your time. I don't care if you're pregnant, if you have a child with them. I love you. I care about you and the child, but staying for the sake of the child is only damaging the child and threatening both of y'all's safety.
Yeah.
Because that person has shown you literally who they are. So 30 days, he feeding into your ear, crying. Ooh, 30 days, boy. You know what I'm saying? When they say habit is only 20 something days. That's
right.
So he consistently, I love you,
He
baby.
was
Sorry
consistent.
that happen again, but and here you go, pulling up. I got you, boo. Bonnie and Clyde, ride or die.
Period.
So I ain't gonna let nobody stop us. I got your back. People done let you down. I ain't gonna let you down.
Yeah.
Please let them down.
Please let them down, because that was definitely a thought too. As I was like, well, everybody gave up on him, but I'm gonna hold you up, babe.
So much pressure, like so much pressure in the wrong place.
Yeah,
and so much. This is why, in case you're wondering, and you don't know why people say these are some reasons why, because we feel like we got to be Captain Saber. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That
And
ain't
that's
my
exactly who
job.
I thought I was. I'm gonna change him, and he's not gonna do it no more. And
I'm gonna show him that
I'm gonna show him what real love is.
real love.
Yeah,
I'm searching for a real child. That ain't it. This is not real love. Anytime anybody abuses you in any kind of way,
it's not real.
manipulate you, it's not real love. Jesus. Okay, so help us, Lord. Woo! So you pulling up, you pull up. Day he gets police. He hops in the car. What happens? Like, does he keep this persona for
He keeps it. He
couple
keeps it for a
months?
couple months. He keeps it. Matter of fact, no, he kept it for a while. I'll say a few months. He kept it for a while. If I remember correctly, we didn't have any more incidents until my daughter was born, my oldest daughter. So I actually have 3 older kids. It's a whole nother conversation.
We're gonna have to do a part 2.
We're gonna have to do a part 2 because it goes into a whole nother thing. But when my daughter was born, I I really don't remember when it started again. I think it was little stuff. I think it was maybe like he used to get mad at like little stuff, like you're walking behind me. Why are you looking at that person? That was another thing. I couldn't look at nobody, especially no man. Like my friends, they got to go. My family, they got to go. Became like an isolation kind of thing. He definitely isolated me, and if I ever tried to like unisolate myself, it became a problem. Like I remember one time, I was actually pregnant with my 3rd child. When I say this cycle repeated over and over again, it did. And I was a manager at Arby's. So everybody knows when you're a manager, you have to train new employees. Especially, I had just became assistant manager, so I was training somebody to take my spot as shift manager, kind of thing. And it was a boy. I would say it was a boy because I was like in my 20s and he was like 18. Like it was great. It was a boy. But he walked in the job one day and we were standing next to each other. Granted, we had a big old binder in between us. Like it was very obvious. It was like a teaching moment, but whatever. And he flipped out. Like he flipped out
In public?
at the job. I actually lost my job that day. I lost my job that day.
What did he do?
He snapped on the boy. He snapped on me. My middle name is Danielle, so he had a problem if anybody called me Elizabeth, which is like my government name. And I never understood why he wouldn't let like if you go to a job, they're not gonna call you like a nickname. They're gonna call you your government name. But that was a whole issue. He used to get mad at me about your name tag says Elizabeth. Why is she calling you Elizabeth? Why is she calling you Liz? Like it was a big like a thing. I really felt like he definitely wanted to completely change who I was to fit who he wanted me to be, but in some aspects you actually can't, whether I wanted you to or not, kind of thing. And he didn't understand that. And I lost my job that day. We were homeless at the time. I skipped over that. We were homeless at the time.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Mhm.
Hold on. Okay. We gotta Liz, we gotta slow down. Because we don't went from having a baby to months of fakery.
Yeah.
And then you're saying like it's a cycle. So he was faking it. Did he get abusive again when you got pregnant again, or before you got pregnant again?
It was before and after. I just don't remember like specific events, but there was moments where it was like a slap, or he would, throw me up against the wall, or, something. It wasn't big things. It really wasn't until
Stop. Wait. I can't let it ride. I tried. I can't let it ride. Y'all. She said a slap or threw me up against the wall and followed it up with it wasn't big things. And it's important that I sit this here because even if somebody grabs you,
it's still a big thing.
It's still a big thing.
So I say that, I have to clarify why I say the big and the small things. To me, that was not a small thing in the degree of what it was, but compared to the rest of the abuse, that was small.
That's
because it got real. Like
that's why I had to sit here.
That's why I said that. So just to clarify to everybody, know that, I mean, even a little push or a grab or whatever, that is huge. My degree just became, once I was pregnant with my son, who was my third child, it just got so bad to the rest of it kind of seemed like minor things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I understood. I understood what you meant, but they didn't know.
Yeah. So just to clarify all that.
I had to set that. So yeah, it is always a big thing, especially if you're not in a situation where there are degrees of abuse.
Yeah.
But you just witnessed or experienced one little thing. That little thing is not. That's not even the tip of the iceberg. That's like the pin top of the tip of the iceberg, and it's not going to not happen again, and it's not going to not escalate if you stay.
Right. Absolutely.
We have to love and respect ourselves enough to not allow someone to get away with mistreating us and abusing us more than once.
Mm-hmm.
You can't always stop the first time, because in the cases of a lot of people who are abusive, you don't know that they're about to be abusive. Like they've set up they've created this person or this persona that you don't expect anything that's going to come after it to come after it. So the first time they don't get a pass, but you do.
Right.
In the sense of, we didn't know that this was about to happen. But once it happens and we choose to stay, that's on us. We can't take responsibility for their actions, but we can definitely take responsibility for our own. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I just had to sit there, because little things are big things, especially when you haven't experienced the greater things, the bigger things.
Right.
So you're pregnant with your son. You're homeless. How y'all get homeless?
So it was crazy too. I think God did this on purpose. I put everything on God. I'm not even gonna lie. It was a journey for a reason. We had a kitten and we was staying like in HUD housing, and we were not supposed to have pets. And this kitten just kept meowing, and the apartment lady put us out. That's literally how we became homeless, was because we had a cat. I'm not gonna lie to you.
With 3 kids?
So yeah, like we wasn't supposed to have a cat. And that happened. So I will say we became homeless when I was pregnant with my second.
Okay.
So I have to backtrack a little bit. When I was pregnant,
is he not working?
No, he wasn't. And I took that as like, oh, he's a felon. So I was working.
Wait.
And I was letting him make money his own little way. But
So the whole time y'all were in a relationship, he
I
never
was
had a
working.
legitimate job.
He did, and he never kept it. So he would have like a little landscaping job or whatever, and then that'll last for maybe like a month, 2 months, and then it wouldn't be no more. I don't know. And I never asked him what actually happened because I'm still that type of woman. Like, I'm not gonna pry into, if you want to tell me, then tell me. And if you don't, then okay. Just work on finding another one. And he would actually like go to interviews and stuff like that. So I gave him a pass on the working stuff. I just figured, okay, you're a felon and it's kind of hard, so just keep trying and I'll do what we gotta do, kind of thing. So when I was pregnant with my second daughter, we had the cat, we lost the place. Things started falling apart for me. And this is why I say this is God. He sets you up for, you know, not for you to go through struggle, but for you to go through struggle to make your pain your purpose, kind of thing, to fulfill your purpose for him. So I feel like if I wouldn't have went through any of this, I wouldn't know or have the knowledge or be doing any of the things that I'm doing now. Um, but we became homeless. We're staying in shelters. I do have to put that out there. He was the type to fight anybody. So it wasn't he puts his hand on women, but he don't put his hands on men. He will fight anybody. It didn't matter who he was. Old, young, man, woman, cat, dog, whatever. So,
It's like two different, it's the same person, but it's two different, there are two different like stances on this thing. Cause you got the abusive people who will only abuse somebody who's weaker than them. Then
mm-hmm.
who think that they're just big and bad and I don't care who it is, I ain't gotta respect you, but you gotta respect me. If you don't respect me, it's gonna be a problem for you.
Yeah. And that was him. Like, he didn't care. A lot of the times that I seen him fight, it was somebody that tried to stop it. So, like I said, he didn't care where we were. He didn't care what we were doing, who was around, whatever. But if you even yell like, "Hey, stop," like, he's on you. Like, it was.
Why were you still with this man?
Because it became, I know this is probably at this point in time, it's kind of a weak excuse, but it became a point of life and death. Like, after when I became pregnant with my second daughter, I really thought this man was gonna kill me. It came to that point because where was I gonna go? Who was I gonna call? I had already been isolated from everybody. So I'm not in the same state as my mom anymore. I'm an only child, so it's not like I had a brother or sister I could call. My friends, they're gone. Family is in Charlotte. Don't know none of their numbers. I haven't been in contact with them for years. I'm homeless. Like, where was I gonna go? So that was my stance on that. And that is actually when I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna work and work. And when I have enough money, I'm just gonna leave. But I honestly tried to leave a few times.
Before we get to you trying to leave a few times, I want to know what you would tell, because that's a tough situation. I say this when I introduce the show that there's always a way out. You just got to get support. But when you feel like you literally don't have support, what advice would you give someone who's in that situation where they've successfully isolated, which is what they do? They isolate you from your family. They start doing that quick. They try to make you think family is against you. They try to make you think that your family doesn't agree with you or think that you're smart enough to make whatever decisions to be with this, but like whatever they need to do to manipulate your brain to make you be okay or condition you to end up distance from the people who've been there with you this whole time. They do it. So you're isolated from your friends and family. You don't have a job for real, or somebody doesn't have a job. They're with this person, like they're heavily dependent on something from this person who's been abusing them because they don't see a way out. What is your advice to someone who's in that situation now? Like, they need to get out. They know they need to get out. They want to get out, but they feel like they stuck.
I would say you may feel like you don't have a person, or some kind of support, but there's always somebody you don't realize is there for you. I had a boss that kept trying to tell me, like, I didn't even know she knew I was like being abused. But she kept saying, like, come on, you can live with me, and she lived out in the country. And I'm like, no, I'm not living with you. Like, but I always had, she used to always like come to me and be like, you come stay with me and, I'll help you get on your feet. I always had that one person that I never, ever really even gave the time of day to think about. So while I thought I was isolated and I thought I had no help, I really had like that one angel that had my back always. And I just never, I never even, thought. Now I think about it, like what would have happened if I actually would have been like, okay, I'm coming.
That's good. That's good. And another thing I would say too, like that's beautiful. Be aware. And I think that part of it is the shame. Like even, one, we be trying to hide it, but
Mm-hmm.
if you can't hide it from people who have spent so much time with you, you can't hide it from them. Even if you think you're hiding it, they know something is off, which is why they act and behave the way they do sometimes, especially when you have somebody like your boss who did it out of a place of love and not judgment.
Mm-hmm.
They can see something. And so like pay attention to those people. They're not there to judge you. They're not there to make you feel bad or belittle you or make you feel stupid for the decisions that you've made over and over again. I'm talking about me too. They're there because they truly genuinely care and they really do want to help. Pay attention to that. But if you don't feel like you have that, I believe that if you knock on enough church doors, somebody,
One gonna open.
you know what I'm saying? Because I hear so many times when I have conversations with people or I see people who are still in the situation and they're stuck and they're saying they don't know, they don't have the money, they don't have the funds, they got to take care of their kid, they got a dog or animal or something, all kinds of reasons people stay. And they say that I won't be able to do it, or there's no shelters, or there's no this, there's no support. There are so many churches.
Yeah.
There are so many churches. And now all of them aren't gonna uphold what God teaches us to uphold. But at the end of the day, I would say go knock on some church doors. Like just show up. If you can show up Sunday. The thing is, how can you get out the house? You know what I'm saying? In some situations,
That's it. Yeah.
I
That
get it.
was the
How can you
thing
get
too.
out the house? But show up at church, even if you like homeboy gonna go with you. Fine, get a tithing envelope and write a note on the back and put it in the tray. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a way. There's always a way out. At some point, we have to be creative, and I want to just say that because it just came to me. Like if somebody knocks on enough church doors, somebody's gonna welcome you and all the baggage that you think you have that you can't handle by yourself and nobody else will handle. They're going to help you. So
Yeah.
pay attention to the angels that God sends you. In Liz's case, it was her boss, and she didn't even see it until like later on. And
Yeah.
then be willing to set your pride aside and just go knock. I mean, homeless people who choose to be homeless be on the street corner every day asking for some change, and then they go put it in their bank account. You know what I'm saying? Like got a whole bank account at the bank, ID and everything. They ain't got no shame in that game. Listen, put your pride aside, put your shame aside, and just go knock because your life is way more important than the shame that you think somebody's gonna make you feel. Okay, so you stayed. You had the opportunity to get out. You didn't get out. You have your daughter now. Y'all are homeless. Y'all keep getting kicked out. Y'all getting kicked out of shelters because he can't control his temper. And you're still with them because you feel like you don't have any way out anymore.
Yeah, and it came, so we got kicked out, I think of, no, he got kicked out because I never got kicked out of the shelters. It was always him. He got kicked out of the last shelter that he could go to, like in the city. And DCF came and they took both my girls from me. So that just added more onto it. And then the abuse became worse. Because not only does he have like no place to stay, he's literally like sleeping on the street. And now we don't have our kids because of the abuse. Because the shelters, they told me, like, they told them straight up with, like, they're being abusive in front of the kids kind of thing. um I did my case plan multiple times and he never did his. Like, never.
So you were still staying in the shelters and he was homeless.
Yes.
And y'all were still together.
And we were still, because, and that's the thing, like, when I woke up, guess where he was? Outside them doors.
They couldn't call the police. Like, they couldn't do anything about. He's clearly been kicked out of the shelter and multiple shelters, and he's given himself a track record.
Mm-hmm.
They can't call the police on him for trespassing.
That, I guess,
Harassment.
wasn't a thing. So he, and that's another thing, like, that's another part of what made me feel like I really had nobody, because he's there. I couldn't even go to work. He's right there. It, no matter where I went, he was right there. Like, it had been times that, like, I would look out the window and he's right outside my window. Like, if he's there. If I was at work, he was there. If I was, you know, anywhere else, he was there. So how am I going to escape that if he's always there?
Did
And
you
then it
ever
just
call the
turned
police
into,
for harassment?
like, say what?
Did you ever think to call the police and say, "Yo, this guy's harassing me," or were you still kind of, "I'm gonna be down for you. I just hope you can get your life together because I know we can." Like, what?
It was a mix of things. It was, I hope you can get your life, like, come on, like, we have kids now. Now we're fighting a case, like, we're trying to win our kids back, like, tighten up. It was one of those. And, like, if nothing, do it for me. Cause he still had this whole persona, like, probably 5 out of 7 days of the week, that he was like, you're my queen and I love you and we're gonna go, like, he still had that. And then there was another part of me that was like, I'm going to get out of this some way, somehow. I don't know how, but that's when my faith took over. And it was just like, God, I don't know what you're doing, but help me, kind of thing. Like, I was just like, I just went day to day. It became like I was a robot, kind of. Like, I just kept going through the motions and going through the motions, dealing with whatever I had to deal with, until one day God was gonna part the Red Sea for me. And that's like, that's how I felt. I was just like, one day, like, it's gonna happen. One day it's gonna happen. And it took the little girl that I got in the living room right now for that to happen. The day she was born is the day that I finally left for good.
What changed when she was born? Was he there at the hospital? Did y'all go to prenatal stuff together? Was he supportive in the pregnancy?
So he was supportive in the pregnancy for the most part, but during that pregnancy, during my pregnancy with her, even doctors say, like, one of us or both of us shouldn't be here right now. I had been beat with a bike chain for trying to leave. This little cut I got on my lip, I was hit with a, like, a machete, but with the sheath on it. He slapped me with it to get me to stay. Um, it was like stuff that just kept, I tried to leave, and every time I had guns put to my head. I almost got thrown over the little blue bridge. I don't know if you've seen little nice pretty Jacksonville. I almost got thrown over that. Like, it was stuff I had tried, like, my whole pregnancy with her. I was done. Like,
Did you ever call the police during these escape trials? Like, had you ever
I
dialed 911 on him?
there was not even a way. He was on me so bad. And I know, like, it was one day we was walking across the Blue Bridge. And they had, like, this event going on. So there was police everywhere. And I remember, like, I was waving one down, like, help me, like, help me. And the dude just looked at me. Like, he literally just stared at me. So all hope in, like, police. I even tried to tell, like, my caseworker with DCF, and her words were, well, you're working, you're willing and able to get out of the situation. So when I say, like, everybody that I thought would be able to help me kind of shut me down, I was like, I just got to do this on my own. So I'm either going to die trying or I'm going to get it, kind of thing.
Thank you for sharing that, because are y'all hearing this? I gotta ask these questions, and some people will hop on here and they think that I'm being judgmental, or I'm trying to be rude, or I'm trying to make people feel uncomfortable or ashamed for what you've been through. No, I gotta ask these questions so y'all can hear this for yourselves. People think that every time someone's in an abusive relationship, they're never trying to get out. And people think that getting out is like it's just a decision, and it's not, because anytime you threaten their anything that's comfort to them, it's a problem. They don't like to be uncomfortable for anybody. They don't agree with that. And if you make them uncomfortable in any way, their pettiness takes over, and they're going to try to do something that's going to hurt you worse than however you intentionally or unintentionally may have hurt them or bruised their ego or whatever happens. Yeah. And so I'm glad you said that, because there are so many times people actually do call the police. People actually do try to get in touch with the police, and the police don't show up for the person that needs them the most.
Yeah.
For your caseworker to have the audacity to say, you working and you willing and able to get out of this situation. You don't see this man standing outside of this door every time I wake up in the morning trying to go to my job.
I tried to explain all that to her, and she just, I don't know what I think what they do is they read it in a book, and they think that it's like cut and dry like that, and it's not. Like, oh, well, just leave, just walk away. And it's not that simple. It's definitely not that simple. This man has tracked me down to the core. Like, I could be on a whole nother side of town. I bet you he gonna show up. Like, so it was hard. So I literally had that mentality, like I was gonna get through this or I was gonna die trying to get through it. However it was gonna work, however. And this is all while I'm pregnant with my daughter, my youngest daughter. And I didn't find out I was pregnant with her till I was like 4 months.
Wow.
So that was I say when I'm pregnant with her, that's when I knew I was pregnant with her. And I remember it was one day I was on my way to work, and I worked at the main library, which was downtown. And I had a ride there, and back up. Hurricane Matthew. This was like the day after Hurricane Matthew, like when we still flooded and it's cleared up. So it's clearing up. I had a ride down there. I'm still working. I'm 7 months pregnant, almost 8 months. And he's at my job, like at the entrance that I go in. Like, he's standing there. I was actually at a domestic violence shelter at this time. He whoops me right there.
In broad daylight.
In broad daylight, camera right there. Employees walking in and out. And that's another thing. It was so many people that just like, oh, ooh, like, look what they're fighting and keep going on about their business. So again, no support kind of thing. He whoops me right there. And then he tells me to go panhandle him some money for a beer. So I say, okay. Instead of actually panhandling him like for a beer, I actually run, pregnant, run to the bus station for the city bus, because I knew out of everywhere there would be police there. I ran there. I start having contractions as soon as I get there. So they're calling an ambulance. I'm telling the police, and they're like, oh, we'll just put a warrant out for his arrest. And I'm telling the police, like, no, that's not going to work. Like, you're actually going to need to see this man to be able to arrest this man. Because if not, like, there's nothing going to I already know nothing's going to happen. You just say, oh, we'll just put out a warrant. This man is walking the streets of Jacksonville. Like, you're not going to find him. he's, you know, I'm not saying he's too good, but y'all ain't gonna look for him like that. Y'all are not gonna have patrol cars going up and down the street looking for this man. I'm sorry. I know this for a fact. So I get to the hospital. I tell, you know, the hospital staff, do not let anybody know I'm here. Anybody, nobody. I have police escort with me. He's, you know, upstairs. The little police officers upstairs with me and all that kind of stuff. I call him, homeboy, and I play this sad, like, role that I used to play, is what it was. Babe, we're finna have a baby. Come up here. Come, just come. I'm in labor right now. Like, we're finna have a baby. Come on up here. And the hospital staff is looking at me like, why would you? I thought you said you didn't want nobody to know you was up here. No, I said that so you would not let him upstairs. The police officers looking at me crazy kind of thing. But so what they did is the first time he came, they let him up in the room. They let him in there. Then he wanted a beer. So I was like, go on ahead, take, you know, go on ahead and get you a beer kind of thing. And I told the police officer, I was like, you don't understand what I'm trying to do here. There's police outside. There's police in front of the emergency room doors. You're here. So next time he walks in here, this is your chance to arrest him. Like, I actually want him arrested. So when he came back, they arrested him at the entrance of the emergency room. So I basically trapped him in the hospital. And probably like 3 hours later, my baby was born. And that was my out. Like, that was like, literally, I felt like that was the only way. And even then, I didn't believe that it was going to happen. But I just felt like, okay, this is it. Like, this is when I could finally leave. Like, I need to get out of this situation, because DCF had already told me I had lost the terminated rights for the first three. So I no longer have custody of them at all. But my youngest daughter, they said that if I show, you know, progress, that they would let me keep her. So I can't give up on this last one. And she with me now. So you see what happened. And that's how I left that situation. She's my new beginning. That's so my little lotus flower.
Before we get into post arrest, I got to ask this question because people are going to want to know. You got 4 kids by this man.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you keep having sex? Was it always consensual?
No. If I did not have sex with that man, it was a whole nother issue. So it wasn't consensual. And I know people say, well, you know, did you say no? No, I didn't say no, because it was either say no or end up in a worse situation. So consent is not always verbal. It's body language too. So it was not always consensual. And I definitely wasn't trying to get pregnant. Definitely didn't want to bring another baby into this world. But it happened. So I had to deal with that.
Thank you. Because people don't understand. You get pregnant, and perhaps the first time is like, you know, you hadn't experienced anything yet. So it's you okay with it. You know, we can make this work. But people think that whether you're married or not, when you're in a relationship, they think that the woman always has the right to say no, or the power to control the situation. And in a mostly stable-minded man, that's true.
Yeah.
For a man who has somewhat of a healthy mind, who's not abusive, who understands human nature and beings, you can tell them no. Will it piss them off? Yeah, you can piss them off with it if you're doing it to manipulate them in an unhealthy way as well. But they're gonna respect your boundaries.
Yeah.
To an abusive person, The word no is a trigger for more abuse.
Mm-hmm.
The rejection is a trigger for more abuse. And so I had somebody ask me, like, why would you keep having sex? And it's like, y'all be thinking people enjoying this. Not at all.
No, not at
I'm
all.
just going along to get, I'm just trying to survive. Like, I'm not attracted to you. I don't want you on top of me. I don't want any of this. But I do know that if I say no or I reject you, I don't know how it's going to be worse for me. I just know it's
going to be worse. Absolutely.
And so I had to ask, because I know what it's like to have children with someone who's been abusive, and people are like, well, why you keep having, it don't matter if you're married or not.
Yeah.
We're not doing this because we just all hokey pokey happy. No, right. This is what homeboy wants. I don't want it, but I do want my life, and I do want to not be in more distress than I'm already in.
Right.
So thank you for sharing that, because somebody needs to hear, because I know somebody was like, ain't no way she didn't want, she's still having sex with this dude. She got 4 kids. How come she ain't stopped at the first? It ain't that easy.
It's not that easy.
The whole story should tell you that once you decide to stay after you've been abused the first time, it's not easy anymore. Mm-mm. First time is the golden time. Even before the first time, the signs are there. You just got to pay attention to them. But if you ignore the signs and you get yourself into a situation where it happens, the first time is the golden time for you to get out. That's the only thing you need to be shown, to be up out of that, because it's not going to stop, and it's going to get worse.
It gets worse.
The longer you stay, the harder it is to get out, and the more abusive they become.
So, and one thing he kept telling me throughout our relationship was, you allowed it before. Ooh. And I say this all the time. Like, I tell my daughter this, I like burn this into her brain. What you allow will continue. And it came from him. Oh, well, you let me do it before. You did it before, so I'm do it again. And that is so true. What you allow will continue. You allow it the first time, they're going to keep doing it, and they're going to keep doing it, and they're going to keep doing it until you finally say enough. And then when you say enough, it's going to be like, why? Why? What's different now? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Dang, the audacity. So you done had your baby. He's arrested. How long does he stay in jail at this point?
So he actually went to prison for a year, which is crazy, crazy. So
a year?
Only a year, which
for
is
all of this documented proof.
When I tell you, Doc, like, listen. So they had the video from my job. I mean, there was witnesses. So DCF took my daughter from the hospital. I left the hospital without her, basically. They took custody of her because they was like, you in it again? Like, I thought you was wanting to be free, kind of thing. So they took her, and I lost her for 7 months. Until I fought that case. I literally left the hospital on like the second. I don't even think I stayed for the third day. The second day, I had a shelter hearing for my daughter. I filed for divorce. I forgot we were married. I filed for divorce, and I got an injunction all in the same like sitting. I was so determined, I walked to the courthouse. I walked freshly, baby. I didn't care. Like, let me show y'all that I'm really serious. So the first court case, I was like, I don't understand how y'all don't understand that I'm serious. Oh, you're going to go back to him. No, his charge was felony domestic battery on a pregnant woman. That's supposed to give you years. Not just one, not no days, not no months. That one charge, I think, is like 5 years or something like that for that charge. So I had to basically prove to them that I was serious. I did my victim impact statement. I testified, like I did all that. And that's when DCF was like, oh, okay, she's serious this time. And they gave me my baby back. His charge got dropped, not dropped, but lowered from felony domestic battery on a pregnant woman to battery. That was it. How it got dropped, I have no idea. This is Florida. I don't know. It got dropped to battery and he served a year and a day.
Are y'all hearing this?
He served a year and a day. Now, proud of me, no contact. Like he doesn't even know what my daughter looked like unless he's seen a picture somewhere else. No contact. I'm officially done. I did find out when he got released. Because we have like this Vine network where they call you when he gets released. So I knew it was like 2 or 3 months after he got released, he was with another chick. And she wrote me on Facebook. And she sent me pictures of her car and her face and all that. So he got arrested again for her. Not even like 6 months later. Like he didn't even let the freedom rest before he did it again to somebody else. And then he got 3 years for that. So
I'll hear this.
And like, if I hear correctly, he's back in again for the same thing.
Like, so, at what point does a repeat offender get more time? Like, at what point do you not see that he's not trying to change?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they gave him nothing, like a slap on the wrist when they told me and it was crazy because they gave me an injunction for a year. That's the period of time that they gave me the protective order injunction. And I remember going to the courthouse and I was like, well, he's in jail for a year. So what about when he gets out? And they were like, oh, well, if something happens, then you can come back and get it renewed. So you had to wait for something. Like, I remember calling the day he got out and I was like, he's out. This injunction is expired. Like, can I renew this? Because he's literally been in prison the whole time. So it's not like the injunction does any good if he's in prison, right? And they're like, well, if something happens, then call us back.
I have no words.
If something happens, and that's literally what it was. Like, so I had to wait for him to do something, but I wasn't gonna do that. Like, we was out of it. Like, I made sure everything was private. I cut off ties with all his family, his friends, like anybody that I thought even knew him. I cut everybody off, and it was just me and my baby for a while. Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't wait, and I still have yet to see his face, and he has still yet to see her. And I keep it like that.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, it's just so much to unpack right now. I've gone through the steps. I have documented proof, video proof, witnesses. Mm-hmm. What more do you need besides my own testimony and blood? And you give this man a year. Then he gets out 6 months later, does it again, and then gets out after those years served.
And does it again.
Mm-hmm. And people like this, I love this. I love these conversations because people think that it's as simple as call 911. It's going to be over with. No, they give you a piece of paper and say he's supposed to not do. What you supposed to do? Ball it up and hit it at? Throw it at him if he comes.
I swear. Like,
hey, you're not
be like that old lady on the little cartoons hitting with the newspaper. Like,
oh my gosh.
A protective order ain't nothing but a piece of paper.
And to somebody who ain't in their right mind, somebody who is literally
they don't care.
demonic,
they does not care.
Matter of fact, what he said to you, you've allowed this before. They see the system.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not concerned because they know it's only a matter of time before I'm back out again, if I even get put in.
And I did find out after he got arrested for my case that the relationship that he was in before me, he did the same thing.
Of course.
So when I say habitual, and they just kept 30 days,
Just
a year
on there.
it's nothing.
A little bit more time too, not even real time.
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy on here who lost his sister to domestic violence, and after that, he became like a psychologist. Like he went to school for it, became a psychologist, got licensed, and he's a trauma coach now. And one statistic that he pulled up for me, he was saying that a person, you can lose your life to domestic violence, and that person will only serve 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
8 years, and you gone. And they back at doing whatever.
And they doing whatever they want to do. Back out.
Because 8 years ain't that long.
It's not.
So
And that's if they serve it. They give them game time and all kinds of stuff.
Earned, community service,
mm-hmm.
early, because they took some anger management courses in prison.
Right. That was the thing. He had to serve a year and a day, and he had to take a domestic violence and anger management course. And I'm like, what is that gonna do? Really?
Joke.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah.
Y'all, listen, we gonna have to. This is just the first one. So you're at this age. So you were 19 when you got in a relationship with him. How old are you now? Once he goes to jail, 28.
27.
27.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So 8 years.
8 years.
You're 8 of your baby years.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with this.
Yep.
Y'all gonna have to come back for part 2. Because Lord, we can't get this other one in here yet. But oh my gosh, that's just a lot. And your story has hopefully revealed a lot to people who have a certain mindset, who's never been in an abusive relationship. Mm-hmm. They can now see when I say it ain't what you think it is. Like, why do people stay? Why do people go back? It's not what you think it is. It's not always that I don't have anybody. He's the only person that it's not always that feeling of this is the best I can do. Mm-hmm. It's not always that. There are people out here literally fighting to get out. And the very people who you had access, because some people can't even make it that far. You had access to the very people that were supposed to help you. And they didn't help you. Or they did what they thought was enough on paper to look like they were helping you.
Mm-hmm. I got the little paper with the resources on it.
But like you said, they operating from a book and not, case by case. Like you're literally not listening to me tell you, this man is outside of y'all's building. Yeah. How y'all not? I'm in here telling you, I don't want to be in an abusive relationship. He's on your property. How is that not justifiable for you to, there's a man on my property at a domestic violence shelter full of women who have been abused, and he's abusive, and he's still out here every morning waiting for one of our people to wake up and walk outside who don't got a car.
And I'll say, just to put that out there, it wasn't just him. So these shelters, a lot of them are like open campuses. So they keep the campus, like the location is secret. But if you have somebody following you home or something, then they're going to know where the location is. And when I tell you, it was so many of us women in that shelter whose boyfriends and ex-boyfriends and abusers were outside. Like they just congregated out there and just waited for us to leave. And it was open campus, so you can go and come as you please. It wasn't like they kept us or they had a lot of times they didn't have transportation for us. You had to find your own way to work, like type thing. So these shelters, and I can't, now that I know and I've done my research, it's not always a shelter fault. It's the type funding that they have. And if they don't have enough funding, they can only do so much.
But god dang, you can call the police.
But at least call the police. Like,
you can at
who's
least
out there?
call the police and have these people escorted off your property for trespassing, and then continue to call them so that they get, like, that's the very least you can do. Like, don't blame it on the funding when someone's life is literally at risk.
I've had one of my roommates was she got kicked out of the shelter. So they only give you a certain amount of time in the shelter. I think they give you like 6 weeks or something like that to get your stuff together. And they do that because there's like victim funding or whatever that you're supposed to be able to get. I never got it, but you're supposed to get it. They put her out. So she came home from work one day and her stuff was already packed. And the whole time she's like crying and screaming and yelling, like, where am I supposed to go? You're putting me right back in the same situation that I just was trying to escape from. Like, what am I supposed to do? This little $1,500 ain't gonna do nothing. You know, if I can't sustain it, like, you give me $1,500 for rent and a deposit, but now rent is like $800, $900. So what are we gonna do? What is that really going to help us with? So she's crying and she's screaming at these people and is like, you're not helping us. Like, you're not doing anything. And I understand it's funding and all that kind of stuff, but it becomes a point in time where somebody has to step up.
Right.
And do more.
Right.
Because you wonder why people keep going back and why they stay. Guess where she ended up? Right back. Because where else was she going to go when you put all her stuff out?
Yeah.
And then it was crazy because you put her out, but her side of the room stayed empty for like 4 weeks. They didn't move nobody else in there.
No.
For a while. She could have stayed.
But yeah. Y'all heard it straight out the mouth of the experienced.
Yeah.
Liz, girl, we gonna be back.
We gonna have to be back. Yes.
But I just want to thank you so much, because the transparency, the openness, the honesty, to be able to share without shame your experience is not just healing for us, but it's hope for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's knowledge and wisdom for somebody who's ignorant and they don't realize it. And I just thank you. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your life. I thank you for your determination, your desire and longing to love yourself and your daughter enough to get better, do better, have better, be better, and take the precautions even when you try to get the help, to continue to fight so that you could get out and survive and thrive and see joy in life and how it's supposed to be. So we thank you, girl, for that. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Can't Be Broken podcast, where we are shining light on the buffoonery. It is straight up buffoonery, but you know what it is. We just pray and encourage you to keep showing up, keep sharing your love, keep shining your light. And until next week, we gone. Thank you so much, sis. We appreciate you, girl.